Putin really has helped Trump showing the example how to defend the realist values, how to defend
exactly the way he did it was by leadership and openly putting the ideas out like you've done and I've done, and our ideas defeat globalism because it's about being soulless. And if we just stand up, they can't beat us. So Russia is the example of pulling out of globalism first, and I salute you for that. And now all over the world, from Brexit to Italy to everywhere to Iceland, everybody's pulling out, and they keep saying Russia did it, Russia did it. It's not true that Russia manipulated it,
but they
Russia
led
did
the
lead by
way.
example.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, Leah Michelle. It is Thursday, February 9th, 2017.
You want to come up with a Russian accent? Come on.
Yoski's. We actually went to
This
Russia.
is the only
in
place we have actually
1995.
ever been to. Russia. We've been there. Be there, be square.
Ni nada means I don't want any.
Our uncle who started
Yet.
Procter
No.
there, a big American business there.
Spasiba. Thank you.
Only taught us
Please.
a couple words. So yeah, we've been to Russia right after the wall fell. But raise your hand if you actually believe the leftist lie propaganda that Putin and Trump are best friends. Okay. Raise your hand if you believe it's all just a bunch of hooey.
Hooey.
I have been watching Putin since the beginning of this whole lecturing season, and I've been seeing a real person. You guys have to, you can't just say Putin's in bed because you listen to with Trump because you watch the media.
Right.
You have to listen to what he says, and you've got to be a good judge of character. I do believe I'm kind of a good judge of character.
You're a very good judge of character.
And when Putin
like
speaks, you can see what comes out of him. Now, recognize that a lot of people in Russia didn't want to become communist.
Right.
Okay? And it is said, and Alex Jones says with this interview with this man who's like knows Putin really well, Aleksandr Dugin, he says that Americans actually after the World War II pushed communism, that whole communist revolution.
Right.
We caused all the world's problems, and then we come and say it's all your fault.
Right.
Okay? And it's not we, it's evil people in the country.
New World Order.
So I want to get to a few things of Aleksandr Dugin, but I want to let you people know where we are coming from. I appreciate the Russian people. I've been watching some Russian TV. I've been watching our TV. I don't agree with all their politics. And Alexander says we're not going to agree, but we can agree that the globalists are trying to affect us all. And if we can all come together in Russia, in England, in France, in Germany, and say there's a globalist epidemic against us, and then we can do what we want to do in our own countries.
Right.
They're a sovereign country, right? And I appreciate Putin. I believe we have some really great memes of Putin around here, bareback riding a bear or something like that.
What I love about Putin, and I think that Trump has actually taken some lessons from Putin, and so maybe that's why they think that they're in bed together. I don't know, but Putin puts Russia first. Mm-hmm. And his people first. Right. He's promoting farming. He's promoting organic farming.
The largest organic.
They've kicked Monsanto out. They're promoting having children in Russia. They're promoting their population. So there's a lot of things that Putin is doing that's pro-Russian people,
and to make them strong.
And we're not doing that.
And they've brought Christianity back. I get goosebumps. They brought it back. Putin actually himself became a Christian. They realized that kicking God out was a really bad idea. And this guy here is a Christian who he's going to start speaking. He's going to say, we didn't want to be part of the whole communist revolution.
So here we go. Let's talk.
You want to know what the public looks like? A bunch of half-dead zombies? Fluoride, vaccines, GMO, TV. Look at the Russian population's been plunging. I'll give Putin one big fat gold star for the fact that he's trying to reverse that, get their population numbers back up. They're not putting fluoride in the water there. They're not trying to break the family up.
Thank you.
That's why the devil Hollywood is so upset, because it comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Juan, our guest, is joining us from Moscow, Russia, Aleksandr Dugin. The media says that he's a top advisor to Putin, but from my research, I'd say it's more like when the media says that I'm telling Trump what to do. Dr. Aleksandr Dugin is one of the leading people when it comes to rebirth in Russia and rediscovering the greatness of Russia and humanity itself. But here he is now. I've been on one of his national TV shows that he has in Russia. But, there's so many bios out there, so many things the media says he said. So it's better to directly hear from someone telling you what they actually believe in and what he believes Putin believes in and the type of world system I'm trying to create versus what they're trying to create versus what the globalists are trying to create. And I noticed one of the topics he wanted to get into, we haven't talked beforehand, but he just gave us a few notes here, is post-globalism. Make no mistake, we are post this form of corporate global government. Now, they may fight on for a while, but it's not a boast to say, you can look at all the evidence, they are in major retreat.
Yeah.
I use the allegory or the analogy of 1945 Germany, a few months before the final fall.
Right.
You know the Nazis are going to fall.
Yeah.
The question is, how long will this go on?
Exactly.
So we're
That's
long
really good
past the
advice, yeah.
Stalingrad moment where you know they're going to lose, the globalists, using that analogy, say, for Nazis, because they're very similar to it. The problem is, what are they going to do to try to keep power? Well, Soros has doubled the amount of money for rioting. They're training people at universities now to go out and attack the public. They're planning something big. Doctor, thank you so much for coming on. Let's spend a few minutes just on you, what you really stand for, what you really believe, the big movements you've launched that admittedly have reinvigorated Russia and given it faith again in yourselves.
Really
the globalists
exciting.
want to suck that out of all of us. And then let's get into who you think Putin really is, who you think Trump is in this new multipolar world.
Thank you, Alex, for your kind presentation. I would express my ideas concerning what is going on in the world with new agenda for United States, with Mr. Trump, that I support with all my heart. And so what is going to happen with Russia and with Mr. President, that I as well support with all my heart. And I think you have put the things very clearly, dear Alex, because you have said exactly the truth about my relations with Putin. We defend the same position, we share the same concern, so we are loving our people, and we are blamed not because we are bad or pretend to be extremists. It is all lie. Because, for example, in my book, What Political Theory, I'm criticizing 3 political theories. 3, all 3. I am against liberalism, against globalism. It goes first. I am against communism, and I was always, because I was dissident in the Soviet time, because I never share the conventions of communism. I am traditionalist, I am Christian, and I didn't accept this kind of values. I am anti-communist, but at the same time, I'm anti-Nazi, anti-Nazi, anti-fascist, because I didn't share no racism, nor brutal corporative state in the sense of statism. So, and I'm always affirming the same thing. I belong to the 4th political theory. And when they try to present myself as a kind of extremist or communist or fascist, it is absolute lie. So it's
sure, as I've actually read your writing, you'll explore each avenue of those and show the problems of how they're all basically failed systems, centralized. We have to go back to our primal natures, basically. I just know this: Trump wants justice, and he doesn't want wars with countries that aren't getting in our business and attacking us. And he can see the real world and see that an alliance with Russia and with European countries and with the UK and with Japan and other.
I can't explain to you the feelings that I have towards Russia, but they are good, warm feelings.
Right.
And I hope that you guys can get this too. Because whether Russia has done some bad things in the past, Germany did bad things in the past. You know, England, you've done bad things in the past.
We've done bad things in the past.
Right now, we have to open our eyes, forget what's in the past for a second. Just forget everything in the past and look right now where we're at right now and say, where can we go from right here? from right here where we're at.
If we have new viewers here that are maybe new to the resistance and new to this sort of line of thinking, I just want to take you back to explain what you may not understand is that there is a global push to unify all nations of the world underneath one government. And we see that in NATO, we see that in United Nations, we see that in the European Union and all of this stuff. And so what is happening with places like Russia, with Brexit and things, and other little nations around the world that are not globalist opinion nations, is we're all starting to band together in defense of our own nations, but we're doing it together with one agenda, and that's to protect your own nation first and to protect the other allies.
There's a question
there
in that Bill O'Reilly interview. He said, "Yeah, but Putin's a killer," and Trump said,
"What, you think that we're so blameless?"
Yeah, we have killers. Yeah, but Putin actually was maybe KGB. He actually maybe killed people. You don't think Obama is held responsible? You don't think President Bush is held responsible? Well, he didn't pull the trigger. 1 million people died in Iraq.
Right. We could talk about Benghazi. We could do all that stuff. My point is, we need to understand that we need to be united with the nations that don't want to be united under a global government.
Right. We can't go into Russia and have them control we can't control everything in Russia.
We can't control anything in Russia.
I will again put up the link to this. Is a really, really good interview.
Yeah.
You might have listened to it a couple times because of his broken English, but I'm going to get to what he talks about here towards the end, okay?
Try to stick with it.
Until they quit using fake IDs, we're going to block them? That's something. Rock star in his own country, demonized and misrepresented here, obviously, in the United States. And I obviously haven't read all his writings. I don't agree with all of them or disagree. The point is they're saying the Kremlin's candidate. And they're going on to say that Larry King is a Russian agent, and Schultz is, and Jesse Ventura. And they go on to some of these things to say, I am. Alexander, go ahead.
Yes, I agree once more, absolutely with you, that now we need to think about the future. First of all, globalists, they remind me of the black periods of my own history, of Soviet history. The lie is the Stalinist type. It is communist, Stalinist type of lie.
Stalinist, communist.
The globalists are the continued Stalinists, the continued communists. You think that the globalists the communism died off or whatever. No, they just came out. They're going to try. Communism, it was an ideology that wanted to go across the entire globe, and it took root in Russia. It took root in China. It took root in South America. It took root in Cuba. This was an American communist deal, okay? I'm sorry, we started it.
And they try to impose their understanding of the things. They ignore the position of the other. And our fight together for the future world should be based on this defense and affirmation of identity, cultural, religious, spiritual.
These are the rights
we Russians, we want nothing more. We don't want occupy, invade anybody. Our country safe, morally safe, and that's all. That's all. But we are under constant attack. We are not anymore communists. We have overthrown communists.
We are not any more communists.
We have overthrown communists.
We have to meet these people where they're at.
Right.
Trying to create Christian, normal Russian society.
We're trying to create a Christian, normal Russian society. That's it. We're trying to create...
Russia, that's going to be the name of the video. Russia tries to create a normal Christian society.
Accepting and respecting the minorities. And we are demonized precisely because
they're demonized.
Because we could stand the blows from globalists. And now America is...
Literally, you hear so much negative against Russia because they are withstanding the blows of the
all
globalists.
of the media in the United States and across many other nations is controlled by the globalists. So this is why you're hearing these things against Russia. Because they are not true.
Right.
You guys aren't there.
Right.
A little bit of the same situation. And when they say, globalists, they say that Putin has helped Trump is lying in the way they try to expose that about all this stupid histories about the hackers and so on, and
stupid stories about the hackers.
so on. But Putin really has helped Trump. Showing the example how to defend the realist values, how to defend
exactly the way he did it was by leadership and openly putting the ideas out like you've done and I've done, and our ideas defeat globalism because it's about being soulless. And if we just stand up, they can't beat us. So Russia is the example of pulling out of globalism first, and I salute you for that. And now all over the world, from Brexit to Italy to everywhere to Iceland, everybody's pulling out, and they keep saying Russia did it. It's not true that Russia manipulated it,
but they
Russia
led
did
the
lead by
way.
example.
Absolutely. And I think now the situation is a little bit changed, but very interesting. We're living in an important moment of the human history. Now the initiative to change the world is once more in the hands of Americans, in the hands of Trump. Russia has made a kind of introduction to the change of world order in order to create multipolarity. But now everything all depends on the United States of America, on President Trump, because now he is in a position, he is capable to save the world and people of the world from globalism. And he has begun this.
He's capable to save the people of the world from globalism. That guy has a lot of confidence in Trump. Lee and I are in the wait-and-see camp, but we sure are hopeful.
If you wake up, if we wake up, if we band together, if we stop with this stupid Russian negative stuff.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
It has to stop right now.
Yeah, sorry.
Real spiritual fight is not only
spiritual
fight. It is not only tech.
You wonder how these things happen, how they get started. It's totally a spiritual fight.
It's very
totally
demonic. Yes. The devil.
Or material fight. It is spiritual fight. It is a kind of and now America is a kind of leader in this war after Brexit and after Trump presidential election.
England, the people in Russia are behind you. Get behind them. Come on.
Yes.
Grab their hand. You want to be multicultural? Let go of Islam. Grab Russia's hand.
Yeah.
So that is a turning point of the history. I think now the initiative has passed to you, and now you need to make all the efforts because you are in the best situation that you are the first power in the world, and now we are very proud about that. Yesterday, in the Obama's time, in the possible Clinton perspective, that was a doom for us that you are first.
My enemy is my friend.
Yes.
They hate Obama. They hate Clintons. They're my friend.
And now it is hope for us that you are first power in the world. And I think you need to concentrate on the vision of the future, because in America there are so many examples of the real greatness before this globalist turn in the last decades.
Absolutely, and Alexander, let me just add this for the listeners. What's the best website? We have several here for people to visit, to learn more. Tell us about some of your books so people can actually read what you've said instead of what the media says.
The book on how of understanding. The conservatism is a kind of lie. It is not repetition of the same truths from the past.
No, exactly. It's always having to learn from the past, but codify and celebrate men and women together, families, honor, men being strong, people telling the truth.
Let me see here.
Concerning fourth political theory, the book on Heidegger and the book of Putin's geopolitics. And there are many other books that now are translated. I suggest to people to try to search something in order to understand better my ideas. And when they read my books, maybe they will oppose some points or debate some points. But what is important, we need to think differently. We need to try to open new perspectives to conservative understanding. The conservatism is a kind of lie. It is not repetition of the same truths from the past.
No, exactly. It's always having to learn from the past, but codify and celebrate men and women together, families, honor, men being strong, people telling the truth, production, lifting society up, not dominating the weak, basically nobility.
Yes, exactly. But the roots of the tree are always growing as well. So tradition is changing as well. And conservative demands a kind of imagination, a kind of view for the future.
Exactly, because fake liberalism is an attempt to take over the human species. Conservatism is actually the compendium of everything, because what is to conserve? It is just that we are conserving what is good, but we are actually the future. The left claims they are progressive, but only progressive like a cancer.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are quite right. The cancer is the right name for globalization. They try to repeat the same model, the same gender politics, the same hyper-individualistic attitudes toward human nature. And they destroy the differences. They destroy the richness of the human life, of the human culture.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're at war with language, people being individuals.
I just enjoyed this interview with Aleksandr Dugin. He is so fervent, and his beliefs and ideology line so much up with conservatives around the globe. And I like what he said. Sometimes when you conserve, you take what's good and you get rid of the bad. And I think that progressives just continue on the cancer. Right. Liberals just continue on the globalization. They don't want people to have their different languages. They don't want people to have their different cultures. They don't want to have borders.
Right.
They want one mind, they want like zombies, blah, 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 right? And you can learn. I love what he said. You know, Russia, we've learned from our mistakes. We want to be a Christian nation now.
Right.
We want to get down. And Putin has said we want families. We want children.
Yeah.
We want to be strong.
There is nothing more wholesome than the family unit.
Right. And what if China had come out and said all these different things? We would
Right.
say, go, good for
Exactly.
you. Instead of hitting them over the head saying you don't have everything right, we don't like you. We need to embrace Russia right now. And this could maybe meet some of my Christian friends. 2 years ago, I started praying, and the Lord kept having me pray for Russia. It was about a year and a half ago, May of 2015, I think. Pray for Russia, 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 over and over again. Why did I pray for Russia? And he told me to love Russia in my heart and to reach out to them. And then there's this whole Putin thing and Trump thing, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, wow. And so I really feel like, as far as like organic, wholesome lifestyles go.
Right.
America, we have to learn from Russia. They're getting, I've watched some documentaries where they're getting back to encouraging organic farming. They're encouraging individual farmers. I mean, they're giving people like 5 acres in certain areas. If you farm it, then it's yours.
Right.
And
Which is, you know what, Leon, I don't believe in welfare, but it would be better to give people the 5 acres than, you know, and have some sort of restriction on it so they had to own it and they had to farm it, whatever you want to do.
Right.
Then to give them food stamps.
Right.
Give them seeds. Give them animals. Give them chickens. Give them cows. You know what I mean? Instead of this perpetuating of the welfare system, because not only will they be able to, teach a man to fish, right, but they will actually be healthier and they won't need the Medicare.
Exactly.
Because they'll be eating more
Thank
healthy
you,
foods.
Russia. We are behind you. If there's any Russians watching,
Yes.
we're behind you.
Yes.
We want to be behind you, just like we're behind the Brexit. We're behind the Marie Le Pen's in France. We're behind the Gert Wilders in the Netherlands. Everybody who's against the globalists, you're my friend.
Yes. Okay, this is Leah Michelle. Thanks for sticking with us this long. Signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks. Ring the bell for notifications so you get an email every time that we put out a new video. And find us on Facebook, where we can interact with you guys there on a daily basis. God bless, and we'll see you back here in a bit.
Right, so Russian hacking, false.
I was cold.